Good evening and welcome to the ICU TV menus. Here are the stories making headlines. FRA increased 2026 maize buying price. ECZ intensify voter education ahead of general election. PS Kawana urges civil servants to implement Access to Information Act. In international news, U.S. Embassy in Jordan warns Americans over Middle East travel. And in sports, Copper Queens arrive in Morocco ahead of WAFCON. Good evening once again. With the news in details, my name is Chitemwiko Sai Kalonde. Now the news in details. The Food Reserve Agency FRA has increased the 2026 maize buying price to 347 kwacha per 50 kilograms bag, up from 340 kwacha offered last year. FRA Board Chairperson Suresh Desai announced the new price during a media briefing in Lusaka. He also announced that the agency will purchase paddy rice at 300 kwacha per 40 kilograms bag. Gamani Mariam has more in the following report.
The Food Reserve Agency FRA has announced it to buy non-genetically modified grade A white maize at 347 kwacha for 50 kilogram bag during this year's crop marketing season. Now this is a 7 kwacha more than last year's buying price of 340 kwacha, meaning farmers will earn slightly more for every 50 bag of maize they sell to FRA. Well, FRA has also announced that all its depots across the country will open on Wednesday, July 29th, 2026, meaning farmers can begin taking their maize to the nearest FRA depot from that date. The agency says it plans to buy at least 500 metric tons of maize this season. It has also explained that the moisture content in the maize has now dropped to the required level in many parts of the country, meaning the maize is dry enough to be bought and safely stored. Now, in addition to maize, FRA will also buy paddy rice at 300 kwacha per 40 kilogram bag, giving rice farmers an opportunity to sell their produce to the agency. FRA says these purchases are parts of efforts to support farmers while building the country's food reserves. Agency has further assured Zambians that the country has 1.4 million tons of maize in reserves, which means Zambia has enough maize in storage and will not need to import maize if the country experiences a drought. Now, FRA has also dismissed reports circulating on social media claiming that it is bankrupt, saying it has enough resources to carry out this year's crop buying exercise.
Well, in other news, the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has intensified voter education campaigns across all 116 districts ahead of the 13th August 2026 general elections. Precious Banda has more in the following report.
The Electoral Commission of Zambia has intensified voters' education campaigns across all 116 districts ahead of the 13th August 2026 general elections. The exercise is aimed at increasing public awareness and encouraging eligible voters to participate in the electoral process. The Commission says voter education facilitators, in partnership with voter education school clubs, are visiting schools, churches, marketplaces, homes, and social gatherings to educate members of the public on the voting process and the importance of taking part in the elections. UCZ has reminded voters to carry both their voters card and national registration card when going to their designed polling stations on the 13th August 2026 to cast their vote. Precious Banda reporting for ICU TV News in Lusaka.
Still in local stories, Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana has urged civil servants to champion the effective implementation of Access to Information Act. He made the call during a sensitization meeting for public officers held in Ndola. Precious Banda has more in the following report.
The Ministry of Information and Media today held a sensitization meeting on the implementation of the Access to Information Act for civil servants in Ndola, where Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana officiated. The meeting aimed to equip public officers with a better understanding of the law and their role in its implementation. Speaking during the meeting, Mr. Kawana called on civil servants to champion the effective implementation of the Access to Information Act, saying it is a key tool for promoting transparency, accountability, good governance, and citizen participation. He said public institutions should proactively provide information of public interest, including government programs, budgets, public expenditure, and development projects.
Request information that is clearly in public interest. The law identifies categories of information that must be published as soon as they become available. These include information relating to government contracts, beneficiaries of empowerment programs, budgets, expenditure, development projects, and other matters that affect citizens' lives.
Mr. Kawana explained that the Access to Information Act was assented to by President Hakainde Hichilema on the 22nd of December 2023 and came into force on the 25th June 2025 after the signing of the commencement order. He added that the regulations and guidelines are already in place while the final rules are being concluded by the Ministry of Justice before being signed by the Chief Justice.
As you may recall, on 22nd December of 2023, His Excellency the President Hakainde Hichilema assented to the Access to Information Bill, thereby bringing into existence a law that strengthens transparency, accountability, citizen participation, and good governance.
Mr. Kawana also announced that the ministry has launched a nationwide sensitization program to help public officers effectively implement the law. He also urged public institutions to keep their websites, social media platforms, and notice board updated to improve public access to information, strengthening public trust, and encourage greater citizen participation in national development. Precious Banda reporting for ICU TV News in Dola.
You're watching the ICU TV main news. We now go in a break. Stay tuned for local stories.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662. or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Thank you very much for still staying with us. Now, still in local stories. President Hakainde Hichilema has assured residents of Maize district that government will continue implementing development programs focused on improving livelihoods across the country. The president highlighted roads, schools, business opportunities, peace and unity as key areas that remain a priority for the government. He thanked citizens for their support, saying it has helped create opportunities and advance development. President Hichilema reaffirmed government's commitment to improving infrastructure, education and economic growth while urging citizens to remain focused on the country's development path. Still in local stories, new data from the Ministry of Health shows that women aged between 15 and 49 years account for the highest number of new HIV infections recorded on the Copper Belt. The 2025 statistics indicate that Kitwe, Ndola and Mufulira recorded the highest number of new HIV infections in the province, with Kitwe recording 1,800 cases, Ndola 1,600 cases, and Mufulira 600 cases. The Ministry of Health continues to encourage communities to prioritize HIV prevention, testing, and early treatment to reduce new infections across the country. Still in local stories, ballot papers for the August 13th, 2026 general elections are expected to start arriving in Zambia on Sunday aboard a chartered aircraft from Dubai. Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ Corporate Affairs Manager Patricia Luhanga said the first consignment will arrive at Kenneth Kaunda International Airport, Lusaka, at 12:15 hours. She said 6 chartered flights will deliver the ballot papers from Sunday, July 2026 and Friday, 31st July 2026. The ECZ says verification of ballot papers will begin on Monday, July 27th at the ECZ Silverest warehouse in Lusaka. Political parties, civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, and accredited media houses will be allowed to witness the process. We now take another break. More news. Stay tuned.
We are the dreamers reaching for the sky. At ICU, together we will rise. With knowledge and passion, we aim to achieve a future so bright, with more to believe. We're building
Are the best graduating students, masters in the School of Humanities.
won't be denied. From Lusaka to the world, we stand tall and strong.
Hi, I'm Genea Moyo, and I am ICU.
We're rising high with education. We are the dreamers reaching for the sky. At ICU, together we will rise. With knowledge and passion, we aim to achieve a future so bright, with more to believe. We're building
Are the best graduating students, masters in the School of Humanities.
Thank you very much for still staying with us. Now in international news. The United States Embassy in Amman has advised American citizens to reconsider travel to the Middle East due to possible regional escalation. The embassy has warned of potential security risk, including possible targeting of U.S. interests overseas, flights cancellation, airspace closures, and other travel disruptions. American citizens have been urged to avoid U.S. military bases in Jordan and follow security guidance from local authorities and the embassy as tensions continue to rise in the region. Still in international news, the tensions between the United States and Iran continue to rise as U.S. forces carry out strikes on Iran for the 13th consecutive night, with explosions reported in several Iranian cities. Iran media reports that U.S. strikes hit areas including Khorramabad, Jask, Avaz, Bandabas, and Khwarizm Island, leaving at least 4 people dead near Havaz and several others injured. Iran has also reported attacks to be returned with Bahrain and Haiti, saying they intercepted Iranian missiles, while Iranian armies claimed it targeted a U.S. airbase in Jordan. Meanwhile, an Oman delegation has arrived in Iran to discuss measures to manage ship traffic in the Strait of Hormuz amid growing concerns over region security. In occupied West Banks, 4 Palestinians and 2 Israelis were killed in a shootout near an Israel settlement, prompting a large-scale Israel military operation in Nablus and surrounding areas. We now take a break. Thank you very much for still staying with us. Now in sports, the Copper Queens have arrived safely in Rabat, Morocco, ahead of the 2026 Total Energies CAF Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON. The team departed Algiers Horai Modemadni International Airport aboard a chartered flight shared with the Algerian national team and arrived at Rabat International Airport later in the evening. Nora's side has been placed in Group C alongside Egypt, Nigeria, and Malawi, and will begin its WAFCON campaign against Egypt on Tuesday, 28th July. Well, that sports item brings us to the ICU TV menus. But before we go, a quick recap of the stories that were making headlines. FRA increased 2026 maize buying price. ECZ intensify voter education ahead of general election. PS Kawana urges civil servants to implement Access to Information Act. In international news, U.S. Embassy Jordan warns Americans over Middle East travel. And in sports, Copa Queens arrive in Morocco ahead of the WAFCON. Thank you very much for watching the ICU TV menus. My name is Chitemwiko Osai Kalonde. Have a good evening.